Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal, and so far, the classic season of Discovery game mode has been nothing short of a success, revitalizing that vanilla World of Warcraft flavor, but with an extra twist, with some class runes, leveling dungeons, and so many more secrets added into the open world. And Season of Discovery is seeing even more improvements right over the horizon, with many more quality of life changes dropping in very soon. If you've ever had interest in playing Season of Discovery but never got into it thinking that maybe by this point you're a little late to the party, or maybe if you picked up Phase 2 but dropped it because of the leveling grind, then you might want to consider coming back sometime next week after all of these new updates go live, which is something I want to cover in today's video. But right before that, most of you guys watching these kind of update videos are still not subscribed. However, the more of you remind, the more of you do. So let's keep it going. Subscribe to the channel and ring the bell if you're watching these videos anyway. Especially if you want to get more regular content regarding Dragonflight 10.2 or even potentially more Classic Plus Season of Discovery content. First things first, let's go over some of the bigger updates coming out very soon, which is going to be a substantial leveling buff for Season of Discovery. Vanilla WoW leveling is fairly well known for being one of the more slower and grindier experiences, especially compared to some of the newer retail expansions of WoW, which for many players trying to get back into Season of Discovery, they were kind of turned off from the idea initially because they've done that leveling way back in Classic and didn't really want to have to slog through it all over again. For the level 1 to 25 bracket, at some point they enabled a 50% experience bonus buff, which made leveling much better. And then came Phase 2, which increased our maximum level cap to level 40. But that meant that level 26 to 40 bracket felt noticeably slower, and even much more slower thanks to the XP bonus for the earlier brackets, which was a catalyst where a number of players dropped SOD because of that slower, grindy leveling. A new experience buff, however, is coming out soon to alleviate a lot of those issues, as Blizzard is increasing XP gains by 100% for any players between the level 1 to 39 level bracket. This means players looking to give SOD a try for the very first time should be able to catch up to everybody else rather quickly. And for those of you that already have a max level main in SOD, but always want to try new alts, try different runes, test out some new level 40 builds, now you can, with the leveling becoming that much easier next week. And to make that leveling journey and endgame even less grindy, they're also planning to cut the cost of mounts and mount training by half for level 40 players, while also increasing gold rewards from all quests in the level 1 to 39 level brackets, allowing those of you that are catching up in SOD or those of you playing new characters in SOD to be able to get just enough gold to buy your mount, buy your training, as well as buy all of the newest class abilities so you can fully dive into a brand new character as soon as you hit max level. In that same blue post, they have also stated that they wish to expand raids beyond just 10-man groups, as a good portion of endgame raid content in vanilla World of Warcraft was designed around 40-man raids. However, that may be changing going forward. At level 50, we'll be getting another leveling raid, similar to BFD or Nomergon, but this instance will be capped at 20 players. They go on to announce that Molten Core, the next raid at level 60, will also be turned into a 20-man player raid in the future phase. This does mean that the unique format of 40-man raids could potentially be nerfed down to 20 going forward, which is a unique aspect of World of Warcraft Classic that you just can't get anywhere else in WoW. For some players, that massive 40-player experience is core to that classic feel, and offers an epic experience where you get a small army together to storm down through a cave full of powerful bosses. But on the other hand, it is much easier to field 20 players instead of 40 to form a raid, and the convenience does seem appealing to a huge number of players. But at the end of the day, I want to pass the question off to you. Would you prefer a 40-man raiding for the level 60 content in SOD, or would you rather have them scaled down to 20 players instead? Besides all of these updates, this week is also filled with massive class changes, which consist mostly of buffs, quality of life improvements, but also some nerfs as well. Might be a good idea to invest some time next week with that new leveling buff to level some of the recently buffed classes, or possibly even swap mains if some of these nerfs look a little bit too daunting for your liking. First of all, Druids got a bunch of new stuff like Life Bloom mana cost reductions, Living Seed healing increases, Nourish mana cost reductions, which overall means big love for the Restoration Druids. The Moonkin form allows Moonfire and Sunfire to now be usable again by cutting its cost and increasing its overall damage, plus a flurry of new spells can now be utilized while maintaining your Moonkin form in PvE and PvP content. For hunters picking up the melee dual wield playstyle, I have some bad news for you, as the dual wield spec rune has had its rapid strike damage reduced, tripping up the hunter's lead amongst all of the other melee classes. Mage's ability of chronostatic preservation saw a few quality of life improvements in this update. Paladin's Crusader Strike also saw changes, as it now deals fully holy damage, bypassing all of enemies' armor, which is actually kind of huge. But it is still considered a melee attack and not a spell, so even though it does holy damage, it can't benefit from spell modifiers. Rogue's redirect ability is now no longer on the global cooldown, and its cooldown overall has been reduced down to 10 seconds. Then we have the Rune of Mangosh, which generates 3 combo points and only has 15 energy, which is quite a good change. Flesh Wound will now cause you to generate additional 30% more threat, making it much easier for rogues to hold aggro. Overall, good buffs all around. And Shaman's got a ton of other buffs, like a two-handed Mastery Rune, which now provides you 10% more attack power and 10% increased chance to hit with spells after hitting a target with a two-handed weapon. Shamanistic Rage will now regen 5% of your maximum mana per second, no longer scaling from attack power, spell power, or healing power. Spirit of the Alpha will now grant the Shaman casting it 20% more attack power when using it on another tanking class. Earthshield's mana cost saw pretty big reductions. Also, it has had its charges increased to 9 and buffed up its healing to be 50% higher for max level players. Rune Power Surge got a bit of a tooltip correction, while Ancestral Guidance cooldown is now reduced down to a singular minute. Finally, a pretty big buff for warriors with the Rallying Cry rune, which now works for the entire raid instead of just your party, which is obviously a fairly significant survivability buff that's must have within the Nomergon raid. But otherwise, that's going to be all of the newest updates coming to Season of Discovery. And as always, I want to thank all of you so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you've been on the fence with Season of Discovery, are you potentially looking to dive right in with this new experience buff? And if you're already playing it, are you looking forward to leveling new characters, or are you just going to simply stick to your main for the time being? Also, what are your thoughts on them potentially changing the raid structure going forward? On one hand, it's not exactly quite classic if they were to remove 40-man raiding. On the other, the convenience factor and the SOD and how they change some of the rules of how classic functions could potentially be better going forward. But if you were given the reins to choose which way it should function, which way would you personally choose? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. As per usual, if you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And as always, in the description of every single video and live stream, we have a link to our Discord community channel. Probably the best place to reach out to me directly in case you want to let me know what you thought about this video or hang out with the rest of the community to discuss some of the upcoming changes. Join our Discord to become part of the community. But otherwise, thank you all so much for watching this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. And as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.